Good morning and welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. If you found yourself here, there may be a message for your healing journey, soul's evolution, transformation, and or simply information. Today I would like to talk a little bit about the light worker and the narcissistic paradigm and the evil ways of how things evolve. And maybe you weren't quite aware in the beginning, but you definitely are aware in the middle toward the end. But once you start noticing their behavior and try and have an adult conversation around them, they're not usually happy. So behind the scenes, they do crazy things. Your items go missing, or maybe they add something to them, such as, and this is information for everybody out there that uses cosmetics or products of any kind. Cosmetics typically come in a sealed container, and you remove them. Even toothpaste does nowadays. So just be mindful if you purchase something and you get it home and the seal is broken and or has been tampered with, do not use it. So just think about it. Even toothpaste has a little, there's an area where the toothpaste comes out where you can inject things in there, right? Or maybe your cosmetics, they should come out pure, like ivory. Most facial creams are of that color, not scrubs, but creams. So if you leave them open, they can be contaminated, and maybe now they're more yellowish. Well, it's not really best to use those, but you put the lid on. So maybe you have to question what exactly happened. So I don't recommend using those and or any product that's been tampered with. If your person knows where you buy items and they offer to buy those for you, you may think that's being kind along the way, but maybe now the seal has been broken because they claim to be curious about what it looks like, smells like, or tastes like, so they open it. Well, in hindsight, you have to kind of wonder. You should be able to trust your person with doing kind gestures, right? But if they are narcissists and have ill intent, and clearly now that you're away from it, you realize they have, you be careful what you buy. If professional products are sold in other stores where you see them, it's not actually the real product. It's not at all. It's somehow they were contaminated and sold to different stores, so they're not authentic. It's not the real thing in there. It's not the ingredient. It's been damaged. So if you see things such as Target, Walmart's, Walgreens that are only sold in high-end stores, or professional products that you would buy at your hairdresser or maybe your dermatology, you need to make sure you look at the label, and there's a lot number on there. Call the number and report it, because it under no circumstance should be in those stores. So just be mindful. There might be old labels, old bottles that somebody filled and sold to those stores. Or in old school, it was like, oh, it was on our truck. Well, why don't you just take it in your inventory and sell it? So sometimes their prices are a little bit less, but it's not the ingredient. Why do I know that? Because I've worked in these industries, and I've found it at Target. I'll open it up and smell it, such as certain products, It's definitely not that. So, or I have friends that say, oh, I found this, you don't have to pick it up for me. And I'll open it and smell it. And you probably shouldn't taste it because you don't know what's in there. But you can tell the difference, especially if you work with these products on, a daily, or advanced aesthetics. I know the products that I use or put on my clients when I did that work. It's not the same. So just be mindful of what you are buying. If anything is contaminated, make sure you either don't use it or report it and bring it back and say, this is diversion, this is not it. So the other thing is, if your NARC knows where you buy things, and we've all become sort of lazy or accustomed to, and yes, there's other people that have a car full of kids and dogs and whatever they have to manage, so the pickup services are handy. So if anything has a broken seal, don't use it. So, or you can't find that anymore, such as maybe distilled water that you put in your humidifier, or maybe bottled water because Your NARC is clever. They know how to distort and damage and contaminate things in your home because they feel they can. They have a lot of flying monkeys that do crazy things to you. So if you haven't heard the seal pop, you know what? Then don't use it, because it's definitely have something in there, and you can tell when you open it or when you use it. So for instance, if there's something that was injected into your distilled water and you put it into your humidifier, your whole room will now smell funny. You can smell it, and it's not healthy for you. Throw it away, or maybe you should, hopefully you're not in contact with them. But even if you poured it on your plants, they'd probably not be alive tomorrow, right? So just be mindful of these things. Take it back, report it, call the number on the label, and maybe they'll track it down to who was working that maybe should be investigated. So it's not okay to do any of these things. And when you know better, do better. So I hope this helps today. Just remember and take care of you. And so it is. Namaste.